Hello everyone, welcome back to the fish room. This is Andrew Burkowski checking in again. Today's video is about my Characodon audax. This is the Los Pinos location. A beautiful little fish, also known as the Bold Characodon. These guys are actually listed as critically endangered by the IUCN, which I think is pretty sad. It's such a cool little fish. The typical adult length will get up to around 5 centimeters or 2 inches. The species itself is known from multiple isolated areas in the Tubal River system. And the Los Pinos location it's actually a shallow, slow-moving creek that's full of green algae. So hopefully they like it in here, because guppy grass tends to grow a fair amount of algae. You can see there's some bubbles forming on it already. I used to have my Scyphia francese in this tank. I did move them to a different spot because I wanted to give these guys the best chance to breed in here. My francese are actually living with my Xiphophorus continens colony at this point. This is a nice little group. You can see there's a female right there. It's got, if I can get her in focus, maybe, no. Not really. The females, they have the typical fan anal fin and the blotching on the sides. The males, you can see here's one getting a little bit worked up. One of the indicators for this location is the males will tend to have a really black, dark margin on their dorsal fin towards the back. So you can see that one right here. If I can get him in focus. There we go. You can see. This group is still pretty young though. There's a nicer male back there with some red in his finnage. So I'm referring to these as Characodon audax. In part, the actual species description for Characodon audax really originally only included the El Toboso location, but more recent genetic analysis, it actually puts all of the fish that are above the El Salto waterfall as Characodon audax. They're all pretty genetically similar. You can see there's a male with some yellow in his tail, but still that dark margin. A female there in the middle. There's another male off to the right. But yeah, so all of the Characodons that were above the El Salto waterfall, the Gadiad working group is considering as Characodon audax, and that's basically in per communications that they've had with Omar Dominguez, who's actually a fairly prominent ichthyologist within Gadiad circles. So, of the fish that I have here, I do have a few different Characodons. My Puente Pinos Suarez, those would be considered audax, as well as the El Toboso Black Prince that I have. The Livebearer that I actually keep in this next tank over, those are actually considered still to be lateralis. I am by no means an expert when it comes to these guys. My Livebearer, they actually just started having fry, and my El Toboso, they did drop fry, but I was not fully prepared for them at the time, and I ended up losing all of those. So the Livebearer fry are actually a little bit bigger. It's a nice little display occurring right there. An interesting little fish. They do appear to be omnivorous, Where like early on, trending more carnivorous, but as they get older, they'll start eating more plant material. I should say, right now we're looking at a 10-gallon that is set up, looking at it through the side. Right next to it, I have this is the Scipia multipunctata, Lago de Camiquaro. A bunch of fry in there. I love that tank. Guppy grass is excellent. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, okay. So what else was I talking about? The location Los Pinos is it's from the Rio Canatlan, and it's actually the northernmost population of Characodons that you'll find. I've really enjoyed having these. I did get this group from my friend Bruce. If you remember the fish unboxing I did a couple weeks ago, there's been a lot of acclimating and trying to get all the fish used to living in my tanks. If I can get a nice shot of that male over there. He's beautiful. Like I said, a lot of the Characodons are fairly small fish. So you can pretty easily keep them in like a 10 to 20 gallon and have a nice sized colony. I normally talk about the etymology when I do these fish videos. Really, one of the more interesting things that I found out is the genus Characodon. The first mentioning of it is in the description by Albert Gunther, who, while he was a fairly noted ichthyologist, he was most well known for his work with reptiles. And he wrote a pretty landmark, or a pretty notable paper on tuataras, showing that they aren't actually lizards, but a more basal group of reptiles, which I think is fascinating. So, just wanted to share these guys with you. My group in here, it's what I believe is 9 males, 5 females, and a juvenile. And I couldn't be happier to have them here. Just a cool little fish. If you guys like what I'm doing, hit like and subscribe. I'll be sure to post more updates in the future.